What up guys, welcome to another Vorago tips and tricks guide. My name is Justice RS, and as you can see, a big shout out to all of the names on screen right now. They joined me in VORAGO Hardmode over the past 2 or 3 days. It's been absolutely epic. We've been getting loads of good kills. I know the team received a wand at one point as well, and obviously we've been mismatching when players have had to go, but it's been really smooth. We've only failed a few kills and it's gone very well. We've been helping a lot of people unlock the defeater title, which has gone really well, including myself, who's unlocked it yesterday, so that was really good. So I'm just going to go and head straight into the VORAGO Hardmode tips and tricks. This guide will help you with this rotation specifically, which is the ceilings rotation for hard mode. However, it will also have tips there which are absolutely relevant to every single hard mode rotation, due to just generalizing on the significant differences between hard mode and normal mode. The first phase is obviously the same as any other normal mode, except for the multiple red bombs which spawn right at the beginning of the phase. Now obviously just isolate yourself away from everybody else and you'll be absolutely fine. You'll only get hit 2k. If you're near people, you'll get hit 3 to 4 to 5k. Try not to be within 1 or 2 people, otherwise you will get hit a massive 7+ k, and it could KO right at the beginning of the kill and take you out from the team. Now I would advise a team size. You need around 11 to 14 people, preferably 13 or 14 to allow a couple of deaths, which is inevitable. 1 base tank within this and 2 bomb tanks. A tip for bomb tanks is to wield the Sagaie. These are throwing spears. You can buy these from the Grand Exchange. I'll put it in the description. Also, you can afford to have 2 Ascension DPSs and the rest preferably seismic, unless you're an extremely good range DPS and know how to DPS within a mass with range. A list of the different phases, so there's 9 phases in total. A list of all of these in terms of whether it's a green bomb phase or boulders rotation or team split, for example, are all on screen right now, so you can read through that and browse through it and pause it for this week's rotation. But obviously I'm not going to dwindle on that too long, because that is only relevant for this specific week. One thing to note in the first phase is that if you are the jumper, there is a possibility you will be knocked off at the top when you've climbed up the agility course, so just be wary. If you are knocked off, then just leg it right back west and climb through the boulders again and on the agility course as fast as you can. So obviously that will prevent you from receiving any more magic bombs. Now on to phase 2. The most important thing basically to talk about in phase 2 is Voking. So you'll preferably need 5 Vokers for hard mode. It just makes it easier. With melee prey, you will receive around 1200 damage, and without melee prey, melee prey protect, you'll receive 2500 damage. You may only take 1 hit. If you time it correctly with freedom, you won't actually take any damage. Just make sure all 5 Vokers are also within melee distance when Voking. Okay, so on to the boulders rotation on any hard mode phase. Basically on this one, you want to make sure the bomb tank vokes VORAGO onto him or her. Okay, so after one of the bomb tanks has voked VORAGO onto him or her, the DPSs need to be on the base tank, so literally DD on the base tank within melee distance. Just make sure you have Mage Protect Prey on, and also a little tip is to activate Devotion if possible straight away as a DPS, because you'll be running towards VORAGO, and most likely 1 or 2 of you are potentially going to get a magic blue ball. Straight after the first boulder hit, nobody hit VORAGO, because a reflect or link will be cast out by VORAGO, so nobody hit, otherwise everybody will be greatly damaged. As you can see there was a bit of damage dealt across the team. If you are bomb tanking, just make sure you stay above 8k life points, and also just look out on the floor for the shadow and surge away if needed. Now a little trick here: if you have got a base tank who has done the livid farm and unlocked the spell heal group, so the group heal, then that comes in extremely handy for when everybody DDs on the base tank. If they can do a group heal, it's extremely helpful for the team. Okay, so now onto the phase of the Scopulus. Now, whatever rotation it is on hard mode, when there is a phase on purely Scopulus, there will be 4 which spawn. Now make sure you've got an even split of the team, north and south, and basically make sure it definitely doesn't go on the bomb tank. As you can see here, I'm just literally running away from the Scopulus. Finally someone does voke it just in time. But basically on this one, just make sure you DPS the Scopuluses down. If you're within melee distance of them, you could use Devotion and a melee Protect Prey, and if you're the bomb tank, just activate Devotion as quick as possible. And to be honest, this phase is over really quickly, so nothing to worry about. Okay, so onto the Vitalis rotation. Just make sure the entire team is standing northeast, because that's the most common place for VORAGO to first cast the Vitalis blue clouds out from underneath him. Right after he's cast them, around 3 whole seconds later, just don't attack VORAGO, because there will be a reflect or link, and then it's exactly the same as any normal VORAGO rotation for the Vitalis phase. Okay, so now onto the green bomb phase. You've got two options when you're on hard mode. Essentially, you can either form a circle around VORAGO, which in this case we do, and when you are hit with the green bomb, just go out of the circle. Also, make sure if you do have the green bomb to carry it towards the next person in the circle. So if you're the bomb tank, just come into the circle, make sure everybody, or shout out everybody to put Mage Magic Protect on for the blue magic balls, and then basically when it hits the DPS in the circle as the Mage Bomb Tank, just run away. If you're DPS, again, if it comes towards you, as soon as it hits you, just run away so you don't get hit with it again, and it'll just circulate around in a circle, so that works out quite well. Otherwise, you can do a line, so you can all stand in a line and it'll just pass it on to the next person in the line. Completely up to you on your preference as a team. We usually do the circle method. The next phase I'm going to go over is Team Split. Now, Team Split is probably the one which is either going to make or break your team. The reason for that is because some people, if they're unable to eat up above 9k life points and they don't make that tiny little square, then they will die. So at the beginning, obviously, once you go to that square, as soon as you've gone to the square and you go back to VORAGO, it's literally within 3 seconds, 3 whole seconds, and you want the whole team to go off. Otherwise, the reflex and link will KO a few people if you've got the team hitting. Straight after each link, each and every link, there will be another, whether a red or green team split. Now, the main idea is basically just to stay with high life points, okay? Right at the beginning of the phase, you want all to camp the shield because there's going to be a team split right at the beginning. If you've got an effective base tank, they can walk VORAGO and essentially help the team. So make sure that the base tanks walk in VORAGO in between the team splits and before the next link. And that's pretty much all Team Split is, really. Everybody's just going to make sure they stay high life points. Make sure you stay around 7 to 8k because then you know you can definitely eat up to 9k if you're not going to make it. For example, in this situation, I'm definitely eating above 9k life points so I don't basically die. Also, Phoenix necklaces come in very handy on this phase. Make sure you've got one of those equipped because as soon as you get that 9k hit, if you do, it'll bump your life points right back up again in case you get a blue magic ball which goes your way. Also, another tip, after the first team split and after the first link, everybody should be aiming to get Death Swiftness or Sunshine because that's the moment when you can DPS, and that's the moment when the base tank should be walking it as well, so you can get more damage out. Basically, the more damage you give, obviously, the quicker the phase goes and the less team splits you're going to have to tank as a team. Now, this one usually is the place basically where your team usually gets about 2 or 3 deaths. If you've got a really good team who are all staying in high life points and DPSing at the same time, then you'll be quite lucky and no one will die. You've just got to be careful, guys. Stay above 9k life points and you'll get through it as a team and onwards to the rest of the kill. This is also a reason why not many people do hard mode on the team split rotation week, because there's more than just one phase of team split on the hard mode, which makes it almost impossible to complete the kill because you just get too many deaths as a team. Okay, so on to the Waterfall phase. Now, one thing to note is that it's much faster than normal mode, so make sure you surge into it just to be sure you obviously are not going to get KO'd from that Waterfall attack. Also, I've seen it hit around 10k. I've saw literally someone tank about 10k. That was next to Kanoa, where she had around 11k life points at the time. Very lucky indeed, but obviously you can get up to 10k, so most of the time it's going to KO you. After the Waterfall, one of the bomb tanks needs to Voke. The DPSers need to kill the minions who spawn, and then once those minions are killed, everyone should DD on the base tank in this week's rotation due to the Boulders spawning. However, obviously this will vary week by week with hard mode. The main thing to note here is that the Waterfall, it's much faster. You know, VORAGO's attack is much faster in this rotation, in this phase, so make sure you get underneath that Waterfall as quick as you can. Another thing to note in this instance, if one of the bomb tanks gets the minion, then basically anybody who's got a minion can help out that bomb tank. So once a DPS who's got a minion kills theirs, definitely help out, kill the bomb tanks, because the bomb tank's going to struggle. He's having to take magic ball hits as well as minion hits, and it is quite hard to do that on this rotation on hard mode. Unless, of course, the bomb tank dual wields really quickly and gets out an asphyxiate or wild magic. And obviously if you range bomb tanking, then you're definitely going to need some help from a DPS, but just whack out bombardment and just do your best to kill it as fast as you can. Okay, so on to phase 9, guys, of VORAGO. Now, many say this is when hard mode really begins, and to be honest, I would greatly agree with that. Team split as well, though, is probably the deal breaker of the kill as well, but as you can see, we've pushed VORAGO very along the way now. We're definitely well on our way to actually achieving this kill. Now, straight away, DPSs, you want to be standing north, death dealt on each other, and also you want DPSs DPS's south death dot on each other, and you want one person in the middle, especially if you've got the green bomb on phase 9 on the hard mode rotation for that week. You want one person in the middle for the green bomb to alternate from one side of the DPS's, so from north to south. That really helps. Now another tip, guys, is that it helps to have somebody who counts the reflex, as it helps everyone. So to make sure nobody hits on the link, it's the green bomb first, then off after 3 seconds at the beginning of phase 9, then once again it's a green bomb and then the red bomb. When the red bomb hits the bomb tank, or it could be a random person by the way, if it is a random person, that person needs to find out by just running away basically from the group, and if it is following you, then try and get yourself isolated. A bomb tank that should death dot on each other, so it gives that person who's got a random red bomb to move away. Very hard to explain, you just have to experience it for yourself. However, basically when the red bomb hits whoever it is, usually the bomb tank, it's 5 whole seconds until the reflect or link from VORAGO, so allocate one person to count this, and then only go back on when that person instructs to do so. For example, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and off. Everybody should get off at this point, and then VORAGO puts his reflect or link. So that works really well, so it's 5 whole seconds pretty much from when that red bomb hits the bomb tank, and just allocate one person to count that down out loud, so then everybody gets off at the same point and it's safe. So basically that helps you, and it's absolutely paramount importance, especially right at the beginning of phase 9 when you really just need to get VORAGO pushing along. Otherwise that is the deal breaker, the kill right at the beginning. If you don't push VORAGO enough right at the beginning, then you are going to fail the kill. These are just some tips and tricks, guys, available to players in hard mode. Feel free to share best practices in the comment section. Good luck if you decide to venture into VORAGO hard mode, and I'll see you in my next video.